Thank you everyone for watching episode 2 on defending yourself from SMS text messages. Today we're featuring Tanya Jareen and myself, Rob Peters. I have over 20 years of professional technical experience designing, developing, and deploying systems, networks, and applications. Specifically, for the past 4 years, I've dedicated myself to security research. My life's passion is working with businesses to secure their systems, networks, and application through strong documentation. So now I'd like to introduce Tanya Jareen. Tanya, would you kindly introduce yourself to us?
Thank you, Rob. So this is Tania. I have over 10 plus years of experience in computer networking and network security, and currently I am teaching at a public university on cybersecurity, and I am passionate about cybersecurity. Thank you, Rob.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So with the introductions out of the way, let's get started about the SMS messages and how to defend yourself from unknown senders. This is not a video for teaching advanced techniques. Rather, this is a video to equip individuals with the information that you need to defend yourself. Please share these details with anyone who might benefit from them. This is for educational purposes only.
Okay, Rob. So let's dig into what is smishing.
So smishing attacks use text messages, the SMS, as their primary method of communication.
Yeah, so you can see like smishing is like a compound of two words, SMS plus phishing, right? So the phishing is
SMS,
when it is happening through SMS, we call it smishing. Yep.
and smishing attacks, they target mobile devices,
Mm-hmm.
while phishing attacks are generally aimed at computers or any devices that access email.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a good introduction to what smishing and phishing are. So if you believe you encountered a scammer or received suspicious phone calls, it's best to do the following legal and ethical steps. Why do you think these are going to be the appropriate response for most people, Tanya?
Um, like when, so I think the mindset of smishing is like we always have our cell phone with us and we always check SMS, right? Maybe we don't check email every now and then, but we check SMS every time. So anytime you get an SMS with a suspicious link or a call, like a phone number to call you, maybe you will just call because maybe you are into something, like you are working on something and maybe you are not giving your second thought, but when you are going through email, maybe you will give the a second thought. So that's why I think smishing is more effective than phishing. And
Yeah, no, oops,
yes.
sorry. Well, I was just going to add on to that. I think that most people are now familiar with the term phishing,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? And so we're starting to educate users or end users on what phishing is, what the techniques are that are being used. And so I think that attackers are just shifting those same techniques to the cell phone now because of just what you said. But where the guard is down is on the cell phones right now. And
Yeah.
so they're having a lot of success tricking people with the cell phone text messages.
Mm-hmm.
And doing these things for bad intentions, they're going to find the path of least resistance. The easiest and the least resistance right now is a text message through your cell phone.
Totally agree. Yes. I want to add my 2 cents, like how actually the smishing are happening. So some of the examples are maybe you get a text message from your bank, like it shows like it appears from your bank, and it's asking that your maybe some you need to verify your bank account, and it will give you a link to click on. So you will click on that link that will take you to a website looks very similar to your bank account, and you will give your credential, and someone out there, the hacker, they will get that credential when you are typing, and they can withdraw the money from your actual bank. Or maybe you get an SMS from any shipping company like USPS, FedEx, any shipping company asking for, like, they have some link for some parcel to track, and you will click on that link, and actually even that can download some malware on your system, and that can actually track your online activity, track your any information that you are providing. Maybe you're logging to your bank account, anything like that. So that is like, these are some very popular type of smishing what's happening right now. Or maybe it will show like it's from any government service, like you owe tax and you have to call some toll free number, and then it will ask you that, okay, if you don't give the tax right now, then the police is coming to get you, right? So
Right.
you will give the money. So whenever you will see something asking as, like, asking for your personal information, your PI, be suspicious, because no bank, no government like organization is asking your personal information over SMS. So whenever it's asking any personal information, you need to be think twice, thrice. And
Yep.
it's always better that don't click on that link, don't call to that number what is provided. Rather, you call the actual organization. If it appears from the bank, call your actual bank. If it is coming from any shipping service, call the actual shipping service and ask them if they are giving you some kind of text message or not. So verify that. And also, um, it is better that we update our software, like phone software, because sometimes, like, the patches that just comes because there are some vulnerabilities. So if you update your software, maybe that is also a protection.
Yeah, it's great advice, Tanya, and it's so important today, especially because the industry is shifting right now to multi-factor authentication, to an additional one-time message that goes to your cell phone or email, and so it's really important for us to educate users on what a real process looks like, so that you know what a fake process looks like.
Exactly.
Just as you said, Microsoft, Google, they're not your bank. They're not going to reach out and ask you for sensitive information. That's not a real process. The fake process is going to pressure you and make you hurry, 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 so that
Exactly.
you don't have the opportunity to think twice about these things. So that's another layer, is how fast are these guys or girls or whoever pushing you to make a decision. Usually the faster the hustle is, it's because they don't want you to come to your senses and realize something's not right. So those are excellent points, and I'm glad you brought them up.
Thank you, Rob.
So let's talk about what should an average user do if they're getting you've already hit most of them, but let's really hammer this home and highlight that one more time. If I get a message from an unknown sender that isn't in my contact list, or you know for whatever reason I don't recognize the number, what should I be doing?
You can block that number or call the actual authority. If it is something important, showing something important, call the actual authority to verify. And you can actually call that number. Many phone carrier now actually rate as a spam. Like my phone carrier, whenever I get something like this SMS, it says like spam,
Potential spam.
potential spam. Yes.
Potential spam. Yep. Yep. So there are signs along the way that you could be picking up, and those flags should be turning up. And all of a sudden, one or two of those red flags start to hit you in the back of the head. You should really be thinking, okay, let's slow this down. If it's real, I can look them up on the internet. I can find the valid business information. I can call them directly and say, hey, do you have employee John Doe or whatever the name is? And, are they employee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because they're calling me and asking me for information. And I just need to confirm that this is a valid business transaction from your side. And
Yes.
so, from my perspective, those are the things that you can be doing to slow down those high pressure situations and really confirm that you're supposed to be doing these things. As you said, businesses are not going to ask you for your passwords. They're not going to ask you for your social security numbers. They're not going to ask you for account details. So those should all be major red flags popping up in your mind. And so now with the tools that you have, the 6 points, you should really be able to defend yourself. But it's helpful to organize because you might get all of them. You may not just see one, you might see several scams coming at you right now.
Yes. For insurance, car warranty, so
Yeah,
many. Just name
yeah.
it.
It literally anything right now, they can harvest of your information. Our information is gold today. Real gold, they're not chasing real gold anymore. They're chasing our data.
Yeah. Data is
We
gold. Two red flags are like fear, they will make you fear, and they will make it hurry, like you have to do right now. So these are the two red flags. We are protecting people and we are spreading the awareness. Today is October 1st, right? So cybersecurity awareness month. So hung up or don't respond. So this is basically not for SMS. This is like if they will get a call, right?
It's for both, right? So it's happening in both ways. They're calling still
Mhm.
and trying to put the same pressure on you.
Yeah.
But they don't even have to call anymore, do they, Tanya? They just send the text message with a link inside it. It looks like Bank of America. It looks like Wells Fargo. It looks like your home bank. You click on the link and then boom, they got you. So
Because I guess the nowadays many people know about the calling scam, but SMS is much newer than that. So they're just playing with that right now.
it's a new vector
Yeah.
and we are not prepared to stop it. So it's a new vector that they are cleaning us up in right now.
Yeah.
I forget the billions of dollars, 17 billion. That's a big industry. Fraud is cleaning house right now. So I'd like to see how we can reduce that significantly. That's real people's money, hard-earned savings that's
Hmm.
just being ripped out of their possession.
Then block the number. So of course, if you verify that it is coming from any scammer, it's not from the actual organization, then it's good to block the number or flag it somehow. But it's better to block. Why do you want to still keep it, right, and flag it? So better to block so that, but they have like so many numbers and they will keep calling, they will keep text, like giving you the text message.
Yep, that's right. All you can do is block one number at a time. Excuse me.
In this case, I
Or
can add a story.
please.
Like I heard from one of the international student, like they came from another country to study here. They got a phone call, like from a scammer, but it appears like a police officer, and they're asking like, you have to pay this much amount right now, otherwise sorry, we
That's
are
okay.
coming to get you.
Yeah. Yep.
So unfortunately, that
Fear.
international student fear and hurry, and that is an international student, so they may not know how things work here. So they may thought that maybe police officers they call and they say like this.
Yeah.
So give the money, you know. So they're playing this kind of stuff. So that is very unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hadn't thought about it from that perspective. So I appreciate you making sure that we see that side as well. Um, you're exactly right. It's just knowing the basics of how a business process is going to function properly, right? And I didn't consider that. An international student isn't just going to automatically understand how we do things here. Or I wouldn't understand how business is done when I go to other countries. I have to, in many cases I don't know. But that's interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing that. What else on here?
Yeah, so the next we have like report to authorities, which we
Mhm.
already talked about. So call that authority directly and ask if they are sending any text message or they are calling you if it is a call. And next we have report to your phone service carrier. So you can report that. I think when we are blocking those number, they will already get that notified.
You're right. I think that's the step. You're notifying the carrier by blocking the number.
Yeah.
It's their responsibility to make sure that doesn't come through.
And then use caller ID application. So if they're interested, they can use caller ID application. Most carrier they just flag that as potential spam right now, even using a caller ID application.
Yep.
And educate yourself. I think this is the most critical part, that you have to keep updated and educate yourself. Be aware of this kind of spam that's happening all around us.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. We're
Yeah,
here to try and educate and give you the information, the users, the information to feel confident that you can defend yourself. Because with this information, I do think you're going to be able to take the basic steps to defend yourself from potential catastrophe.
exactly. Yeah.
Be skeptical, right? A lot of businesses, they're not even making phone calls anymore. They're communicating via email, and then they want you to come to
Yes.
their application. They want you to go through the help on the application. So a lot of it is businesses don't even operate this way anymore. That's an old business model of picking up the phone and calling a customer. Businesses barely make business to business phone calls anymore, let alone business to customer phone calls. So be skeptical. Use a caller ID. Never share your personal information over the phone or to someone that is acting as if they're a representative. Hang up immediately. As soon as you get those bad feelings, hang up. Verify the request is real. Like we said, Tanya, you can Google the business information,
Hmm.
find out their hours of operation, find out what their real phone number is so that you can call them and hear from them, yes, this was a valid request, and they'll be able to tell you why. Or they'll tell you, no, this is not valid. We don't do business this way, right? But either way, that business is telling you yes or no, this is real or not.
Yes. Don't call the number they provide. Rather, Google it and find out the actual phone number
Right.
or
So that's
email address.
yeah, that's an important point because they're now paying for the advertisement to so they'll set up a phone number and have you call it. And if you Google it, they might have the paid advertisement to be at the top. And so you might see their information, which isn't valid, but that might give you a false reassurance that this was a real request for your information. So they're
Again,
getting even smarter
yeah.
um, than we're prepared for, I think.
In this case, don't call with the sponsor, because sponsored ad on top of the Google, don't go with that, because most of the business or government service or bank, they're not going to sponsor their website for phone number, right?
Now, they don't. Most of them don't need to
Yeah.
because they've been online so long that their reputation increases the SEO for them. anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not truly how everything works in the background. So take the time to educate yourself. Listen to the flags in your head that are telling you this doesn't sound right. Go out and do your homework, do your research, find out if this business is really the one talking to you, and then go from there. If it's not, you need to block the number, because that tells your carrier something's going on here. I mean, there's no ends to what they will try, but it's always about fear and hurry up, right? It's fear and pressure, to do something, and usually
Fear, pressure, and I guess also joy, because sometimes what they say that you got this lottery, some award, something like that, so you become happy and he will give your information. So opposite of fear.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, that they'll use the joy to bring your guards down,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good. What would you say your takeaways are for this, Tanya?
I think no one should think that this will not happen to them. I think this is the main roadblock, that we think that, well, this will not happen with me, but this can happen to anyone. So be prepared, be educated with all this stuff, and be aware. Anytime, anyone can fall into this trap, right?
Yeah. And I would be surprised if there is anybody on the face of this earth with a mobile phone that hasn't got a phishing or smishing text message. They're all over the place now. Everybody knows what these words are now, or they've heard them, right? They've at least heard it. They may not know what they are yet, but they've heard what smishing is, and they're getting these text messages.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else we can think of? I think we've done a pretty good job here at highlighting the critical points for the everyday users. Did you have anything else?
I think my last 2 cents are, like, we talked mostly about how to prevent, but what if anyone already fall into this trap?
Oh,
What you should do after that? I guess
excellent.
the best thing is, like, if it is with your bank, call your bank and let them know, and just block all the transaction as soon as possible, all the credit card and debit card. If it is with any other service or anything, you just call the authority, or maybe inform the FTC, right?
It's gotten a lot easier to contest transactions, and it used to be in the past a whole process just to contest a single transaction. Now most of the banks, they've got the information in real time. Super easy to call the number on the back of your card and say, hey, I didn't make this transaction, and contest it. So don't be afraid to reach out to your card holders. It's a lot easier process today than it ever was in the past to
Yeah.
get those things, and they usually revert the money pretty quickly.
And usually it takes some time to process, so if you call right away, they can just block the transaction.
Yep. And what do they do? I think they block the card.
Mhm.
They'll issue a new one and
New
send
one,
you out
yes.
a new card.
Yeah. So
So
don't just wait, but take the action.
excellent. Tanny, thank you so much for joining me. For those that know Tanya or myself, neither of us know each other, so this is our first experience. Trying to educate the populace. I hope, Tanya, we can figure out some way to do another video because this was great. I think.
Thank you, Rob, for having me. And this is actually my second video. Yeah, so I was a little nervous, but I think it's okay.
You did a great job. I'm very happy that you joined me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.